Let me make sure that's muted and everything is up and running. Okay, I think we are good to go. Bradley, welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here. All right, good evening, everybody. This is LA Web Professionals, LAWPG. This is our June 2025 meeting. This is our special presentation of something we've been wanting to do for a while and have just kind of put it off and had all of these fantastic presenters that have been doing their things. And now we want to get in and get on the creative, fun, goofy, informal side of things. And this is our Adobe Express versus Canva Showdown. So I am Anissa Barton-Thompson. I am your host for the evening, along with my wonderful co-host and user group manager, Daniel Kramer. Daniel, say hi.
Hi, everyone.
And my twin, my creative twin and partner in crime, Miss Andrea Batts-Latson, Mrs. Andrea Batts-Latson, otherwise known as Happy Teach. Andrea's been on with us before, and it's good to have you here with us.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Great to have you. And I also have another fun little special guest, and she's going to be contributing and throwing some stuff in through the evening. This is my mom, Miss Peggy Barton.
Hi, everybody. It was bring your mother to work.
It was bring your mother to work day. So I wanted to preface this by saying we didn't purposely put a description into our event tonight because we are mad crazy, as I'm sure so many of you are, working and making life do what it do and handling all of the things. And we wanted to kind of do something that wasn't quite as traditional as our mainstream, our normal presentations and stuff. I think in the midst of where we are in this day and time, we need something to reconnect us. We are in a technological world. We are bombarded with technology and social media, and AI is now like prevalent and all over the place. But we want to do something that helps us kind of reconnect with our creativity and our creative roots and things as well. And we know in the summertime, a lot of people take some time to get reconnected with family and friends and spend some time away from the office and away from the computers and away from all the craziness that is going on. And we want to kind of just have some fun with tonight. So I invited my mom because she's been kind of a creative inspiration for me over the last couple of years, even though she claims that she gave it to me. But I think I try to inspire her a little bit as well. And I love what she does. And I wanted her to take a moment to kind of share how she infuses her technology and her creativity. And one of the things that we wanted to do in our showdown, in our Canva and Adobe Express showdown, is to be able to show you the ways that we come up with ideas and maybe think about how we connect it to the purpose of things that we're building out and things that we're creating on a regular basis. And we want to put a family or a family and friends approach to this. So Daniel, by the way, I'm going to make you a co-host so you can go ahead and handle the waiting room as people are coming in. Thank you again for joining us. So at this point, I'm going to give my mama a little spotlight and we'll join in with her. Let me see, let me add Andrea in here. Okay. And what I want to do, Mom, is can you like share a little bit about what you do with you're such a prolific photo taker right now. And I have convinced her to go from Android to iPhone to help kind of contribute, because there's a lot of iPhone users at our church and among our friends and things. And she's learning to put it into a more creative, yes, a more creative perspective. So do you want to share a little bit about what you do and what's your take on your creative?
Okay. Well, I'm your Hallmark lady when you can't afford to buy the Hallmark card. And so I've been known to make cards. I just made a card for my friend in Maryland today for her son,
Mm.
who she doesn't have a grandchild, but she has a grandpuppy. So I put her son and the grandpuppy on the Father's Day card. So it's taking what you know about your friends and your family and being creative and giving them that in a card. And I get a lot of rewards because people are happy and a lot of people have kept their cards. So I think that's a good thing. So Nisi asked me to share a couple of cards with you, and I hope I'm doing this right. This is one I did for my friend's 70th birthday. And so I made her a star, okay? And then when you open it up, she likes to line dance. So I have kind of like a caricature of her of line dancing. And then over here are pictures that I've taken of her, over the years. So again, using the pictures and then just using creative things that I find online and making her a special card. Another card I made for a friend was her birthday was jeans and diamonds, so I used that in the theme of the birthday card, and that's her picture in the middle. So it's jeans material background and the diamond shoes that nobody could wear. But anyway, so I had that with her picture in the middle, and then the last one I have, this is I'm a Delta, and this is my sorority sister. And this was a card for her for having served as president for 2 years. And then when you open it up, I have her as her head is placed on this caricature of a Delta with all the things that are positive about being a Delta. So those are some of the ways that I have used in making creative cards. Also, I've also made sympathy cards where I've put the family member in there. In fact, Sunday I had one of the deacons, and he thanked me. He hugged me and thanked me for the card that I made, that I had a picture of he and his brother together on this card. So there's so many things that you can do. If you like me and have a passion for taking pictures, use those pictures. And you can use those pictures in a card. You can use those pictures just framing a picture. I've framed pictures of people, for their birthday. So, and 55 years ago, she don't let me tell the story. I had read the book, 1984, and they said it was going to be a whole lot of technology. So I prayed for a child that would know everything she could about technology so she could help her mama. And that's the end of my story.
I love it. I love it. See, now we know the mastermind behind this wonderful Anissa, and that's what I
It's
said.
crazy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but wait, there's a mastermind sitting next to me, my twin right there. So
Oh, yeah.
Andrea is also a
Oh.
card maker, and she's got a different approach. So Andrea, do you have a few cards that you would like to showcase? And then we're going to jump into the technological side of it and see how we can apply some of those in-person real principles.
A better way to show my card would be if I share my screen,
Okay.
Instagram. That way I don't have to worry about whether you can see it or not. So let me share real quick.
And let me make sure. Yeah, you should be able to share.
I'm able to.
And
Okay.
for those who are joining in, if you have questions for us as we're doing our presentation, we want this to be very interactive, and we want you to be able to ask questions and ask us about our creative process, ask us about the tools that we're using, and so on, so that we can all, get the most out of this. I love this. Go for it, Andrea.
So my approach, I love designing, of course, on the computer, but I also love designing by hand. A lot of times I'll interact both. Like I'll create something in Express or Photoshop or Illustrator or InDesign, and then go and try to make it um, by hand. Sometimes I'll grab different parts from the designs um, and and then just recreate them. So for instance, this one was all done by stamps, and I love the color, so I color with markers and things like that. This one again is another one that was done by stamps, by stamps and marker. There are different challenges that I like to go into, and I want to show you one that was, and I love working with different textures and things like that. So it's kind of like I love the textile feel of cards, but I also love getting in design programs and designing. And then my husband, who's also on here, who's an artist, an amazing artist. And so one day, if I have an idea that I don't want to use AI for, because I hardly ever use AI for this, but and I say, hey, honey, can you draw something? And he does. So as soon as we get to that card, this one right here. So I said it was National Pizza Day, and he draws these caricatures, and he's so good at creating like cartoons. He actually created my Happy Teach that's right behind me, right there. And then I went into Photoshop and I went to Illustrator and re-illustrated it. But he draws these different characters, and I said I wanted a happy pizza because happy is my name and my brand, So he made a happy pizza, doing a bonus cup, and then I went in and stenciled, and then created the little pizzas, and then created the type and stuff like that. So these are some of the things that. Oops, sorry, wrong one. Some of the things that I like to create. And then the thing behind it, we're talking about family, and this is the way that I bring my family together into this. One, everybody in my household is an artist, and they're just amazing. None of them want to go into it like I do, which drives me crazy, but they really have a God-given, they get a great talent. But they, for one reason or another. But what I typically do in bringing in family, like when I go to North Carolina, I take these things and I say, hey, let's have a color day, or hey, let's have a my niece right now. I just take her whole kits and she and I create stuff that's in a kit, and then she keeps the kit and she continues to go. Um, but it really is all about family, and it really is all about bringing things together, and you guys will see how we incorporate that in a few minutes when we create what we're going to create. And also I want to say that, so we're calling this, well, it's labeled a showdown, but it's not really a showdown. It's like between two sisters who one is using one program and the other's using the other program. And I just wanted to say that just in case you're like, oh, I wanted to see this smackdown showdown between the two programs, and that's not what this one is about. This one is kind of like, I would say, more of a unity though, but it's certain things that you can do in Canva and it does it this way, and there's certain things you can do in Express and it does it that way. So that's kind of what tonight is about. But that right there is my quick synopsis of things that I do with.
I love it. I love it. And Dina has a question. She said, what type of translucent paper do you use when you're doing those special overlays?
So I use vellum. So it's a 65 weight vellum, sometimes 85 weight, just depending on how opaque or transparent I want it to be. And everyone always asks what brand. There are several brands, and there's some that are really, really good. But honestly, if you go to Amazon and you look up vellum paper for crafting, I think it defaults at the 85 weight. Vellum, and it's like $8.99, and there's one that's Amazon choice and stuff like that. So just look through those. I really have to get a feel for the paper that I use. I have to connect with it. I do that with digital design too, you know what I mean? Like when I'm talking about a font, I honestly have to look at that font, close my eyes, and see if I feel it in relationship to whatever I'm designing. So I do the same thing with paper. If it works for what I'm doing, if I'm alcohol ink blending with the paper and it feels good to do that on. Right now, Nina is my favorite paper for that. Then I'm like, okay, this is the one. You know what I mean? And then I stick with that one. But yeah, that's, you can use any vellum. I would say I would say just look at different ones. Because one might be more cloudy, one might be less cloudy, one might be heavier, one might be lighter, and things like that. But I'm really, really at one with paper. Like I have to feel it, see it, love it.
I think it's awesome that you are utilizing that. I'm going to stop the screen. We're going to be switching screens back and forth from time to time. I think it's fun because here's another example of a card, but it's actually a program, and it's also printed on vellum. But the vellum or the translucent paper has the event detail And then we used a graphic program, actually, I think this was in Photoshop, to cut out my grandparents' picture and put that into a luminous kind of photo effect, and then print the details so that it overlays and is semi-transparent. And then my mom comes in and does things like taking this and putting appliques or stickers or embellishments on it to personalize it for the individuals that are going to be receiving it, or that it's tailored to. And that is what really, I think, drives home about how you can take something that sometimes can be a little, not necessarily impersonal, but it isn't as personal as taking it. Here's a Hallmark card, actual Hallmark card that has been customized with embellishments, appliques, stickers, and then personalized prayers and personalized photos and messages added to it. And those are the things that become the keepsakes. Those are the things that people begin to treasure, especially when they're in moments of happiness and excitement, or they're in moments of sadness and despair at loss, or in moments of sympathy or grief. There's a really interesting, great way to be able to showcase how you treasure that person's memory or gift or impact on your life through that creative modem or medium that you're putting out there. So I want to thank my mom and Andrea for presenting those, and we want to kind of get into the creative mode here. Let me see. Victoria says she loves the vellum overlay, and that's a great way to, oh, it absolutely is. It's a great way to reuse and recycle and upcycle your greeting cards that you've received. How many of us actually, we receive really great cards, and it's like, you know what, I wish I could find some way. I really want to reuse or repurpose a particular section. I loved how that illustration worked out. And not to downplay, like, I don't want to say that we shouldn't pay money when graphic artists are actually putting their time and creativity and energy into producing a creative product. And that is their creative product that you're paying for. It's their originality and their creativity. But there's also, we're in a state of waste not, want not. We want to be able to keep and recycle and be able to repurpose those things. I think that is super important. So I love that you made that point, Victoria. She said, it pains me to throw them away. Exactly. So
yeah. And then the other thing too, what just to piggyback off of what Anissa said, when you think about, yeah, the other artist created it, but if you're going to be throwing it away anyway, then you might as well. Like, for instance, I have two of these. These are like the pencils, and I like the drawing on it, so I will cut it out with a heart punch. You know what I mean? And put that somewhere on a design, or oh my gosh, I have the cereal boxes. I keep them so that I can cut the, like my favorite box is corn pops. So, like the little pops. Yeah. So I'll cut them out and use them as well. And I think that if you, I mean, I just said, I feel like if you ask the artist, hey, would you want me to throw that in the trash, or you want me to try to repurpose it into something new? I feel like that, like, a majority would be like, oh, girl, please repurpose. So.
And if you're taking it to the next level, I mean, there is something to be said about AI being used to help you get inspiration. You can use an existing piece of art as an inspiration. I'm not saying that you should steal it or have the AI completely take it in, but you can use descriptions of the things that you like as a generative piece, so that you can have the AI give you ideas, and then not even use the actual output that the AI creates, but actually use it as an inspiration for you to physically do your own creation, your own drawing, your own watercolors, your own sketches, if you're doing something in Procreate on your iPad and so on. So there's lots of different ways that we can connect all of these pieces of creative generation together. So I think, let me have Andrea, do you want to start off and showcase? You had a piece that you wanted to start with, I think. If not, I can start it.
Okay. Are we starting with the logo, right?
We're gonna start with the logo. So one of the things that we were talking about in our how we can purpose the technology for family, we both have family reunions coming up. And my family on my father's side is called the Barton-Thompson family. And we have a family seal, a family crest that was created in 1948 or somewhere along those lines and has been updated over the years. And Andrea has a family crest that she is working on. She said, I don't have one. I don't have something that I want to showcase. So I want to pull it. And she, lo and behold, she does have one.
So this was I can't do it on here. Black, right? Do I gotta go back? What's the trick to it?
Right there, or we turn our backgrounds off, either way. I think I'm gonna turn my background off.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. But
it's showing up a little bit, yeah.
Okay. I think the closer we get, like if I hide my face.
There it goes.
That is so funny. Okay, wait a minute.
They get it.
Yes. So I wanted to recreate something similar with differences, of course, because the artist created that. So I wanted to make sure that they had my own touch and my own flair with it. But that was my husband's family reunion that we went to a few years ago. And since that was the only family crest I saw, I was like, oh, you know what? Let's see if we can recreate this. So I did go into Express and recreate this logo or family seal to use in like we're talking like scrapbook. I think we're gonna be making like a scrapbook page and things like that. So this logo was created specifically in Express. I didn't do the logo maker, although Express does have a logo maker and you can use that. Like this is their logo maker and you can pick one and it has like all these different logos that are in there for you. Yeah, I can leave them.
And I'm going to drop the link for the logo maker for anybody that wants to try it out on their own. That is in the chat now.
Yeah, so when you go in here, this is how it works. You're going to be brought to this screen. You can hit create now, and it's going to take you inside, and you'll tell it a few, just a little bit of information about your company. Like if my company was GOBLE, Goobly Gop, don't, you know what I'm saying? Listen, don't hate on the name. A slimy. No. What do I want to say about Googly Gop? An adventure. You didn't know you needed. Okay, there we go. So then as soon as I put the slogan and the name, I hit next, and then it's gonna give me all these different areas. Now I can, if none of these work, I can say, oh, my category is sports. So up here I can type sports or something like that, or I could type adventure. And then, it's going to give me different things that represent adventure. Hot air balloon. I've been making a lot of cards on hot air balloons. So I'm going to say that. Ooh, or the map. Ooh, the map. There's a map. It's a map. Hot air balloon. Okay. I picked one. It was hard. Hardest decision ever. Okay. And then once you pick a category, now what was supposed to happen was it was supposed to open, but that's okay. I can pick one of these. But we go in here where we now see a different menu where we see the style and the color that we can change. So if I chose, say, this cloud one, for the heck of it, clouds are on every adventure, right? But if they're not, where are you? See what I'm saying? If you don't see clouds, I just don't know what type of adventure you're on. But anyway, so now I can go in and I can make changes to this, if I need to, because maybe I thought it was too tiny. One of the things I'm always thinking about, and I think about it probably a lot because one, I'm getting older, my eyes are getting older, but I also have a husband who has a visual disability. So I'm always, he's always like, oh, I can't see that. I'm like, hey, look at this. I can't see that. And I'm like, ah. So I try to keep that in mind when creating something. So I want to make sure that the person can see it. I also think about the fact that if you're doing a logo, one of the things you got to think about, it because I hate that people don't. Um, right here in this logo, this is way too much information. If you got to think about your logo has to fit the smallest thing, like a pin or something like that. And if you put this on a pin, it is ineligible. So what I would do is get rid of it because it just doesn't make sense that it's there. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna oh, that's not what I meant to do. Like that, get out of here. Okay. So googly gop, I figure that's big enough, but I might just do this because eventually I want people to see, unless I'm doing a word mark logo, I want them to recognize my company by whatever symbol I have. So I like doing trademark type of logos, or if I'm going to do it, I like to use the initials as much as possible, just so that now I can make this super small and people will be able to see it. That's just like the first thing I think of. And if I didn't need this, if I had something unique about this, then I would just get rid of that and not have that either, and just, focus on my
the mark itself, the image itself.
yeah, trademark. Yeah. So now I have my image. I can change the color if I want. I can change the font. I can go with that. But as soon as you hit that, it's going to bring you right back into Express because now you want to edit it. So now I can go into Express. I can create whatever I want. Like if I wanted to put maybe a circle behind it, like you saw in the other image, I can. So I'll just go here, grab this, and then maybe make it larger. As I'm making it larger, I'm holding Alt N so that it makes it even on all sides. Now I might move that down some. And if I wanted a white on white image, here it is, right? But I don't. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make my background white because when I export this, I want it to be a PNG and I don't want that background coming with it. So now I'm gonna click on the circle. Then I might change that color to, nope, that's not it. I might change that color to something else that's gonna bring this out. Maybe that tan, I do like that. And then maybe I'll change the color of this. As you know with Express, I'm sure you all know it is a click program and something happens. That's pretty much how it works. So I might make it a lighter gray or a lighter brown. Or if I don't like any of these colors, I can go to custom, maybe bring that up because I still want to stay in kind of the same family. There we go. So now if this is the logo that I want, then what I might do is grab these. Is it gonna do it? I don't know if it's gonna do it right, but anyway, and go to position, and then I'm gonna try to center this. And if I like it, cool. In this case, it is centered. You can tell by the box, but my eyes don't say it's centered. You know what I mean? Even though it is. So I might physically move it over a little bit. I'm just saying, just so that I can get something in there. Or if I'm not satisfied and I don't want to move it, I might add something else down here. Like this is a cloud, I might add something else. Whatever's going to make me happy, that's what I'm going to do. And then when I am satisfied with it, I just might put something in there to balance it off. I am a graphic design teacher, and so I can't help it. I try to say, oh, I'm gonna do something real quick, and it just doesn't happen. But anyway, so I'll make like something just to, yeah.
While you're doing that, should I emulate the same one that you are making, or should I come up with a new logo?
Which one do you want to do?
You tell me, but
do the same one.
Do the same one? Okay. So let me know when you're ready to switch.
Okay. I am honestly just about ready. Let me go ahead and,
okay.
Just because I have to be extra, so I'm gonna go ahead and do one more. I'm kind of building up that's too big. Okay, there we go. So yeah, go ahead and let's switch and I'll just continue working. we talked
Okay.
about.
But I need, if I'm doing the same one as you, I'm gonna take a picture of this for a
Wait,
marker. Okay.
it's not easy.
I have a point of reference. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and switch in. I am going to try out Canva's logo creator, and I'm going to drop that link in the chat as well for anybody else that wants to try it as well, going along with us. Oh, and let me do one more.
Now, should I stop share or I didn't have to stop share? Not what we said.
So here's my question. Because we're the presenters, we don't see the others screens. Do you guys see my screen or her screen or both screens?
Oh, wait, let me share again because oh, no,
Okay.
no. You were able to hit share before
Yeah.
when mine was on?
No,
I
just
can't.
now.
Okay, good. Okay, because I stopped sharing. Yeah, no, you can only do one at a time.
Okay. All right. So this is Canva's logo maker, and they actually walk you through a very similar process. So what you should be seeing is an empty canvas, and they give you their versions of their template selections that are available. So I'm actually going to just show you what some of these look like, and they say they're giving you your step-by-step tips. So find the right logo template first, and then edit your style by adding in text or changing out the text that you want or the other images. And then you can even upload your own content into the logo as well. And then you can finally email it, download it, export it, share it, however you like to work with it. So in this case, let me see, design is the first tab. All of their tab segments are along the left-hand side, very similar to Express as well. So you've got your layout items, and I'm gonna go with that same circle theme that Andrea was working with. I'm gonna leave the text there, but I'm gonna switch out the images. So all of these are individual pieces. And I'm gonna go into Elements and search for hot air balloon and see what I can find here. So they've got categories for whatever it is that you're searching for, also very similar to Express, but laid out just a little bit different in that you can see just individual graphics like illustrative graphics, you can see photos, you can see frames, which are photo frames that you can drop images into. They actually have video components that are included, stock video that you can use along with it. And they even have some audio components that you can drop in as well. So I'm going to take a look at what they've got here. And let's go with this as a balloon. Oops, sorry. Scale that down a bit. And I actually am okay with it kind of floating over the borders. And I'm going to swap these out for bullet points. We've got different graphic images for those. Maybe I'll use these little star compass points instead. So I'll bring those in, drop it in. I'm going to take the original ones out. And it almost looks kind of like a compass point, like you're about to go on an adventure with this. So let's say compass point. And those curved blocks of text are effects. Express has them as well. This lets you see it before you actually lay it in, so you know where the position is. And I'll say compass point, nature tours or something along those lines, right? And yes, no, we strayed away from the family point, but just to come back to this, well, I'll give you some other examples in just a second. So on this, I'm going to change the color of the border. And these other elements as well. Oh, not the text. Let's get those two and change them out for a nice gold. And let's make them a little bit thicker as well. Oh, sorry, that's the outline. Oh, okay, those are solid. element. So they have border outlines for the shapes, but not the images themselves. So those are standalone elements. Okay, so I think we can work with these, and then on the text, I'll come in and make those a darker. Let's do a darker shade. All right, so there is my balloon, hot air balloon centered image there. And let's see, let's let her in. So what do you guys think? Should we drop these in? Let me see, can I drop that into the chat?
I don't know. It's been finicky with
Let's
images,
see.
but maybe you might be able to.
Okay.
You're the Zoom wizard. Zoom wizard.
Okay. So for a quick down and dirty, gotta put these logos together in a couple of seconds. These might be very simple, easy ways to pull things together and give you the flexibility. So either tool is going to give you what you need, at least to get a starting point. And then you can decide if you want to embellish it, add more to it, change the size of it, change the colors of it, create different versions and so on, then you have a different way to go about it. And I wanted to show you, so that family crest that I was working on, or that I was showing you from my shirt. Let's see if that shows up. There it goes. I actually created this by using, and I'll drop in a couple of quick elements. They have state shapes. So I looked for the state of Alabama, because that is Alabama. Alabama state outline consists of an outline shape. It consists of 2 blocks of text that are on a curved effect with our family name and a particular font, and then that same font on the inside with a different color. So there's lots of fun, cool ways that you can bring those elements in. Does anybody have any questions for us? Oh, Patrice says catch you up. So Patrice, we're doing a Canva versus Adobe Express. It's called a showdown, but it's more like a collaborative view and a comparison view, so we can see all the different ways we can take advantage of all the creativity that both tools offer for us, as well as our own creativity, by the way. All right, does anybody have any questions so far? And feel free to unmute yourself and come on.
This was a AI command. I guess it didn't do it right. Oh yeah.
Again?
AI. She used AI because you know how like Zoom has its own little AI thing.
Oh, got you. Okay. Yeah, and I did the print screen and paste into the chat to make it come up. Okay, so speaking of this, we're going to switch gears now. One of the features that I was really intrigued by is being able to create a design, but then actually have that design be repurposed multiple times. So something like, say, for instance, a digital badge, but that digital badge has different iterations of it. Or in this case, I want to make name badges for our upcoming family reunion. And that's actually what this slide is it's a name badge. And this is what I do like about Canva, is if you tell it that you want to create a new design, it's going to give you, of course, lots of templates, but it's also going to give you lots of sizes and predefined shapes and templates ready to go for the type of thing that you need. So I wasn't even sure. I don't know what the typical size of a name badge is. So I just typed name badge into the display. I got tote bags, paper bags with handles, and lo and behold, here's a name logo. So there's another way to get to your logo maker, and name tag in landscape. And it just happens to be the same size as a business card, 3.5 by 2 inches. So when I pulled that up, it gives me this layout, and it looks like a widescreen video, but it's actually about that big. So it's not a very big card at all. You'll also notice that it gives you a little bit of information on the side because Canva is a design tool that's actually meant for print production. They do have features built in that'll allow you to go ahead and design what you need to design and then actually send it out to a print process and order and print right from inside the Canva tool. So that's something that I thought was kind of unique. I don't know if a lot of people take advantage of it. I actually did utilize it last year during a family event, and we had big room posters created right from here. And it took about 30 minutes to create the design, 10 minutes to order the posters, and we got the posters back in 2 days, and it was really well done. So that was kind of surprising to know. But anyway, so I'm gonna close that off so you don't have to see that little advertisement there. But the general idea is that I want to be able to take that family logo that I had created. Let me pull that out. And bring that into my canvas. It can be copied and pasted right into the display, or if you have it as an external file, you can upload it directly from your computer. You can upload it from your phone and so on. So there's all kinds of cool ways that you can bring it in. And then in that name badge, I said, okay, well, cool. I want to add their name and make that pretty big. And get it centered on the display. And then I want to add their location and maybe even their region, what area of the country they're coming from when they come out to join this reunion. Okay. And then maybe at the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and add the name of the reunion, something reunion, and it's good to go, right? But I want to customize it a little bit more. So in my fonts, I've got all kinds of collections that are already ready to go. It does recommend fonts that you can use, and you can customize them. You can change the display. If you are someone who likes to use pre-built sets, collections for your brand, so the brand could include your logo, like you've already used your logo maker or you already have an existing logo. It can use your brand colors, and it can use your brand font. So if you have a brand already available, you can incorporate that in. And I'm going to go ahead and change these up as well. So let's make those the same. Bring that down, make that our family color, which is just a red. And I want to do something to make this logo stand a little bit more because there's actually a part of the logo that is white. So I'm going to bring in a shape, and that has the exact red background that I need. I'm going to turn that over sideways and pull that out so it's just enough to make that stand out on the corner. And I really like how it's very easy and straightforward to reposition things in Canva, so that you can reorder, change the stacking order. Express does the same thing, the same way we're used to doing it in Photoshop and Illustrator and everything else. So I'm just going to move that red block underneath the logo, make sure I get the angle that I want, and have that sit there. And then the name, now that I see the size compared to the logo, I can bring that down a little bit, but maybe make it bold so it stands out. And I can even come in and do some typographic effects like change the letter spacing between the letters, line spacing if it's going to be multiple lines. And there's even advanced things that you can do with typography. So say, for instance, you have superscript or subscript, or you want to work on ligatures. Different ligatures are now included inside of Canva. So that's a cool way for me to include my design. I think that name badge works, but we're going to come back to this. I'm going to give Andrea a chance to pull her name badge together with the design that she wants to use first.
Okay, so hang on. was awesome. Let me go to. All right. I try to remember everything that you hit on so I can show it in Express, but I don't remember everything, but some
That's okay. I'll fill you in.
Express also, though, when you want to print, we print huge billboards inside of Express. I've print for my friend, I don't know if she's in here, but I've printed a 72-inch by 48, I want to say, poster in Express. And all you have to do is create it in Express, resize it to the size that you want, and then not going beyond, I think it's 2,000 by 2,000. Is that right? Or 20,000 by 20,000. I can't remember, but there's a 2 in there. Pixels. But you can resize it to whatever size, to the size that you need. Save it as a PDF or export it as a PDF, and then that's what you would give to. I think she went to like Office Max or one of those places, Staples or something like that, and then it will print. Quality will be great, excellent, stuff like that. Express also has a lot of add-ons, and there is one add-on that you can market your stuff going straight to the store. I forget the name of the store, so I have to look that up. But yeah, you can. I don't do it that way. Like I have an Etsy shop and I have an Amazon shop, and I just save my stuff at 2,000 by 2,000, and I showcase it there. But they do have a store that they use that you can print your stuff off and directly inside of Express. So that option is there as well. Was that it? Is that you went over printing? What else did you go? That was it.
Yeah, and yeah, Dennis was asking about the dimensions, so I dropped some information in there for him as well.
Yeah. So so if I wanted to get, like, if I send this or if I save this right now, there's no way it's going to be the resolution that I need. It's just not. So what I would do is resize it, and I would go here to resize. And then I have the options. I know Anissa showed you all those options as well. We have them as well inside of Express, and the templates as well, as showing you what to do. But so if I go here and let's say I want to repurpose this for like social media, for video, for what have you, I have those options. I also have the option of setting it up myself. So right now it's at 1080 by 1080. If I knew that I wanted this to be, I always have, and you know what, I put my phone away so that I wasn't on it, but I need my calculator. So if I know that I want, if I want something that I want to keep these same dimensions exactly, let's say I want 4320. I'm going to go ahead and lock this so that it changes the width as well as the height at the same time. So then when I change this, I'm going to say 4320 because that's the size I want. Notice it's changing both. And then I can either hit resize if I want to resize this or duplicate and resize. I'm going to do duplicate and resize just so that I always have a smaller size to go along with that. So it's going to resize this, and then it's going to show me both of them. The second one, is the second one or the first one? I think it's the first one. Is the resized version, and I can take this into, I can download this as a PDF, and then I can take this wherever I need to. So you have PDF standard, which is if you're just floating this document on the web or you just need it at regular quality, that's the quality it's going to give you. But if you want PDF print, that's going to give you a print quality. It's going to be a larger file. It's going to have way more pixels in it so that you can make sure that you don't lose any resolution or any of that stuff. So when I hit print, and then I download this, it's going to be a much larger size than the other one was. So, always wait till it goes through its little thing. There you have it. And I have a file that is suitable for me to send to, like I said, off to Staples or wherever I need. Okay, so this is the file that I want to use for our book. And I wanted to show, are we doing the data?
The export, yes. Or yeah, the bulk.
All All right, so if I want to create name badges, so let's say I need to create something different then, don't I? I do.
Oh, yeah, your name badge.
Okay. All right. So let me just not reinvent the wheel. All right. So I'm going to do a new. This is my favorite button right here.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, wait, no, this is my favorite button right here. This always goes back to the home page. So if you ever feel lost or feel like, where am I? Where am I? Click that little A. It'll get you right back here. All right. So I'm going to click on the plus, and it's my 911 button. That's what it is. All right. And then I'm going to create name badges. And I think I want to have them, let's say landscape. Okay. But if I want to do a custom size, I could. You guys saw that. And it's always going to show you templates. It tries to just give you generic templates, and you can go in here and search a different template. I'm not, I'm just going to go with what I have, and let's just see what happens. You know, I'm a daredevil. And so here we go. And so where I want my name to be is going to be here. We did name,
Location,
location. Okay.
and region.
Okay. So I'm going to say the name. I'm going to say name. You'll see what we're doing in a minute. Those of you who work with data sets know what we're doing, but okay. Name, all cap. Yeah, name, location. I'll say region. I thought there was more. Is that it?
Of the ones that we imported, yeah. And
Okay.
then the only thing you want to do, oh yeah, you got it.
Back to center. Okay. All right. So name, location, region. All right. We'll stick with those. And then we have a spreadsheet that we've already created. So I'm going to go to bulk create. Oh, I only have one. Do I only need one? I only need one.
You only need the one.
Okay. So I'm going to go to bulk create, and then it'll bring us to bulk create and it'll import your data. Now, where this is also useful, I have students who come in on day one, and we usually do this in Photoshop and Illustrator. And each time we have a class, I'm not joking, we forget how to do it. But this is so much easier to do it in here. Oh my God, way easier. So all you do though, just so you can see a little background of the Google Sheets. How's that open?
That's your last tab that you have open.
I said meeting was being transcribed. That's where I was stuck.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay. Me and Anissa have spreadsheets, and we have wonderful names you guys will see in a moment. But you make a spreadsheet based on what you want, your name, your branch, relation, age, location, region. That's what we set ours on. So you would make yours be whatever you want. All right. And then she has her sheet, which she'll share, but we just did several sheets so that we could, yeah. All right. So then all we need to do now is it's a drag or drop. I'm just going to click, and then I'll go to where that CSV file is, because it needs to be a CSV. Click on that. There we go. And then I'm going to go next. And now I have to map it. So I can say region, and you're going to see over here where it says connect element. So I clicked on region, click here, and it's going to say element 1 in here. And I can tell it that I want that to be region so that it maps that, right? I can click on another one, connect that, and I can tell it that that one I want it to put in the name that's on that spreadsheet. And then for location, I can click that and then hit connect. And then I'm going to tell it that I want it to be location. Okay. And once I do that, super easy. Ready? Next. And then it went through and it created it, and it put all the names that in it. Billy Bob Brubaker, he is set. Show Enough is set. Joe Schmo and Bruce Leroy. Now, if you don't know what that's from, you might be too young. I don't know. But if you do, know that he got that glow. So but now I have name badges set out, and it was just that easy. I didn't have to set up data sets. I didn't have, oh my goodness. It was super easy to do this. And now I have name badges.
I don't know where that's from, but do they know Ben Dover?
Oh, gee whiz, Doug.
I don't have He's not listed. Nope.
Nope. Nope.
But it's from The Last Dragon. Just so you know, Bruce Leroy was my hero in that movie. But yeah, so that's all I got to do.
Last what?
The Last Dragon.
Zion?
The Last Dragon.
Dragon.
Yeah.
Dragon.
Sounded like you said Zion.
Oh, maybe. And then I just hit create pages. It creates the pages, and I can go in here and make whatever changes I need to make to them. So that's how easy it was to create that in Express. I can click title, and just change those names. And just for those who have wondered, I was teaching a class one time, and they were like, there was teachers, and they were like, well, what is the add title for? So if you already named your file, so you'll notice you can name your file up here, but then when you add a title, so if I say, if I name this name badges, or if I name it badges, then what happens is this will be badges. If I export all of these, this will be badges 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if I give it a title, it'll be badges DJ, badges Joe, badges Billy Bob, or badges Billy, stuff like that. So that's what that does, by the way. All right. And it's on you.
Okay. So on that note, and while I'm switching over, Charles asked, if you use AI in Express, does it charge you credits for it?
So you get a certain amount free. I think it's like 20 free per month if you're on the free account. I don't think that's been upped. And Andrew's in here, so he can correct me if I'm wrong. But if you have the paid account, you get, like, right now, I think it's at 1,000. It might be more. I got Andrew. That's who I'm leaning on. But it might be 1,000 credits per month. But what happens is it doesn't stop. It just slows down. Like, you get priority for your first 1,000, because there's millions of people using this, right? So you get priority with your first 1,000. And what happens is once you hit that 1,000, you'll start, or whatever that benchmark is, you'll start seeing it slow down. Like if we do AI right now, it's lickety split fast, lickety split fast, lickety split fast. But then when you hit that certain amount, you'll be like, yeah, we're crawling a little bit. Remember AOL? Remember waiting for dial-up? That's kind of where you're at if you do.
That is true.
Just
And actually, before
she's had her share.
Before I switch over to Canva, there was another question that came in. Harold says, do either tool include grids and rulers? So I'll let you show it in Express, and then I'll pull over in Canva. Uh-oh.
Wait. Sorry. I was reading what Andrew said and totally missed that. I zoned out.
You said maybe you should be an Express ambassador. Just saying.
What'd you say? What do you want me to do?
So Harold would like to see the grids and rulers in Express.
Hang on. You want me to?
You can show it, and then I'll switch over.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah, because I have mine up.
Where is it?
Andrew said should be, not maybe.
I lost my screen. Hang on a second.
Okay. Or if you want, while you're looking for it, I'll go ahead and pull in, and then we can go.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So here's Canva's version. Harold, for your question, in Canva, you can go to the file and then settings and then show rulers and guides, and you can add guides along the sides here to help align things. So I'll draw in some guides here to make sure I keep my alignment where I need it to be and know where everything is. And also along those lines, it's helpful to see you also have additional guides for margins and print bleeds. If you have comments, you can hide the comments. I actually had never seen this until today, is they actually have a template assistant, and that template assistant will tell you where it thinks there may be design issues with what you are producing. So it wants to make sure that your text is legible, that it is a proper size for accessibility, that you don't have color contrast issues, that you're using the proper font size, that your text is visible in particular locations, and all of those things. And I think that's really helpful because one of the things that we need to, as designers, do is to make sure that our designs are accessible for folks with visual impairments, for low contrast, for color blindness, for all different kinds of things. So I think that's pretty helpful to see. And there are some similar tools in Express as well, but then there's also things outside that you can use. So it's just good to keep accessibility in mind as well. So along those lines, I also have the same little spreadsheet that I'm factoring in, but mine has a different set of family members. So I'm gonna copy my little group here. And if anybody knows who these folks are, you're welcome to chime in. So here is my name badge. And I want to go ahead and use Canva's tools for adding in bulk content and creating bulk designs. So I'm going into the apps and then bulk create. And once it loads, I'm going to be able to bring in my data in two different ways. I can enter the data manually, or I can upload the CSV file. So I think, Andrea, you did the CSV upload, correct? On Express?
Correct. Yeah.
Correct. Okay. So I want to show you an alternate way to do it. If you want to do manual entry, you can actually use, they've got a built-in table generator right inside of Canva. And it's got some pre-built items in there ready to go, but I'm going to clear this out and then literally just put my cursor in the first block and paste the content from my CSV or my Excel spreadsheet right into that table and click done. And now all of those items are there. And just like Andrea did in Express, we have to map what labels go to what items in the table. So I'm going to click on name, right click on it and choose connect data. When I choose connect data, then it's going to ask me which one of these fields is the one that I want to use. So I'm going to do, the name is field 1, the location, connect data, is field 5, the region is field 6, connect data, and then connect the label that I want to use. And family reunion is going to stay the same on every name badge. So every new badge will have the logo already on it, the person's name, their location, their region, and the family reunion banner underneath. So I'm going to click continue, and it's just confirming to make sure that the right information is being pulled in. Now, unlike Express, it was cool because it actually built the labels are all inside of the same one file, whereas this is actually going to generate a new set. Let me make sure that it's here. So it's generating, and I'm going to view it inside my folder, and it actually made a whole new file so that I keep my original name badge template intact. And actually did it a couple times by accident. Let's see. So there's Thelma Evans, Michael Evans, Florida Evans, and JJ Evans. And theirs all live in a separate file. Did you get that one? All right. So this is moving on up. This is the Evans family to the east side. No. Oh no, that's the Jeffersons. That's a different one. So we just wanted to show you what it would be like to take this and actually use the power of connecting data to your designs as well, so that you can customize and make data creation actually very efficient, very productive, and very easy to render out. If I didn't like this design, I could come back to the original, change the setups, change the structure, and then regenerate, and it would just create a whole new batch ready to go with the new design in it. I actually used this tool This was prior to, I would have used Adobe Express. I have to admit, I would have used Adobe Express had it been available when I first started to do this, but about 3 years ago, I needed this process and Canva had it. And I used it to actually generate over 500 digital badges for my university. And I did it all in an afternoon. And that was amazing to be able to do that as quickly as it worked. So,
Yeah.
oh, go ahead.
No, I said yes. I'm not mad at that at
Oh,
all.
yeah, exactly. So that is how we can use that to do the name badge creation. I think we have one more part and then we'll go ahead and wrap up and take questions and get ready for the raffle as well. The last part that I wanted to showcase, and then I'll switch it back to Andrea because she actually did touch on this a moment ago, is how you can use the applications to resize and make things available in different sizes and how quickly you can generate that. So just as an example, I've got, this is a promotion that someone sent that they needed created for just a quick flyer, and they needed to repurpose this and generate a YouTube thumbnail out of it. So I took this design and turned it into this layout. And the layout, it was super simple. All we have to do is click on the 3 dots for the thumbnail for that particular image frame and come to resize page. Now you may notice that it's got a little crown on the far right side. So anytime you see a crown image inside of Canva, that means that is a pro or a paid feature for that particular part or that function or tool. So in resize page, they do give you the option to come in and pre-select the size that you need based on its purpose. So if you're creating for social media, and they'll usually bring in the things that you use most frequently. So they'll bring in the social media sizes, or you can tell it a custom size, or you can tell it a print size, a video size, a presentation size. Do you want to turn it into a website? Do you want to turn it into a whiteboard? Do you want to use it on a mood board? You've got all kinds of options that are available. So if I wanted to turn this into an Instagram story, which is a vertical format, I will click on that Instagram story format, and you notice that it's a little bit more slender than the original version. And I see that image got moved around. I'm gonna click on that background and make it take up the full space. I can move different elements around. I can group them together. Oops, sorry, didn't grab that off. Resize together, pull things down in and out of the way. You can add other elements to it, like I wanted to add diamonds backgrounds and see what that looked like. So in this case, it could be something like, let me drop this in, doing something a little bit different than the other one. But you can apply similar filters like you have in Photoshop and Canva and Express and Illustrator and all the different things that are available. And maybe I want to take this and do an adjustment. And let's see. Can I do? Let's see. I want the blur. Let's see. On whole image. And drop that in. And then I want to make that semi-transparent just to see what it looks like. And then I can bring, because we have the positioning available, I can bring the other elements up in front or leave it behind wherever it is dropped in so that the other elements float on top. So it's just a quick, easy way to be able to resize elements without having to actually build something from scratch all over again just to meet a different sizing requirement. You even have the ability. Oh,
Can
sorry,
you
say it again.
change, can you change the mode of the transparency like in Photoshop?
You can. I'm sorry. I wish I knew more about those modes because I don't use that part of it as much. But
'Cause you
let's
may
see.
notice there's a visible line where it drops off because the bottom
Right.
is not.
But I can fade it out a little bit as well. So is that a little bit
Yeah,
easier?
that's a workround. Yeah.
Right. And normally I would have a lot more things in front of it and I would take time to blend it more, but I'm just in kind of a presentation mode.
Yeah,
And I
if
wanted to
you
show
could
you guys as
multiply
well.
that, if you could multiply that, or I guess I think that's what I'm thinking of in Photoshop.
Right. Yes, you can. And for the page types, this part is actually the newest part of Canva. You have the ability to say right from inside the design that you want to add a presentation mode or you want to add a video component, and it all lives finally centrally inside of Canva. Before, they had to be separate files and you had to copy and paste between them. Now they finally made it inherent to one particular file. I think Adobe Express has been fantastic in being able to have that natively, like from the get-go. And that's been a tremendous bonus. But now I love that we have that flexibility in both tools. So I would think at this point, I'm going to switch it back to Andrea, and she can also showcase where the resize is available.
Okay.
And we'll
Hold
be
on.
ready to
See. Okay. Can you see? Can you see? Can we see? Can we see?
Oh, I like it. I like it. Yes.
First, I want to. The question I was asking for. My screen completely left. I don't even know what happened. I thought maybe you took over. Maybe that's why it left. I don't even know, but
Maybe.
hopefully it doesn't happen. Can you guys see the screen now?
Oh, yeah. It looks great.
Okay. So the grids for Express, along with tables, you can do tables and stuff in Express as well. Over here where it says charts and grids, so it's in your sidebar, you have to have a document open to access it. But you click on it, and then you get your charts, tables, and grids, or you can get them individually, isolate whichever one you want. So you can do charts like you do in Excel. I was about to say Express. In Excel, I click in charts and you pick different charts with data you have. Tables, you can get here, you click on it, a table will show up and you can put your data in there as well. And then grids is here, and this is where you can set up different grids, different ways you want to see your photos and things like that. There was also, you can also set your margins in here. This is newer. It's not new, but it is one of the newer options that you have that you can set inside of Express as well. Okay, so I did want to show you where they were. Now for different sizes, if I wanted to say I have this image set as the background. I have this lady walking. I didn't get to make her shadow yet. I was hoping I would, but that's all right. I'll work on that later. But you also asked about blend modes. You have 3 blend modes in here. You have normal, multiply, and screen. Those are the 3. So if I click on this lady and I want to add an effect to her, I can go to the opacity and I can change like her opacity here. So it might be here in Canva because I would think a Canva has it. I'm pretty sure they do. But like you said, yeah, you gotta play with it a while. But you can change the opacity with the slider, or I can go to multiply, which is going to remove the white, or I could do screen, which is going to remove the black. So one of the things I show my students is if they have a logo and they're not really planning on doing much to the logo and they want to remove just the white from the logo, if it's just the white is the background, they can just use a blend mode of multiply and it will get rid of the white. So that's one option of doing it. This one isn't an image, so it's not going to do it on that, but that is one way that they could use it. So if I go here, I click on the background and I choose, I don't know if it'll work on the background because it doesn't have anything to interact with. Oh yeah, I did. Okay, so screen mode, it's there, but it's in screen mode, and that's multiply. Didn't do anything, and that's so that's the different modes. Now for resize, if I wanted to do different ones, let's say I want to post this to social media, so I can click on resize, and then my menu should show up right here. See, we're glitching. Hang on. I knew it wasn't me. There it is. Now it's here. Yeah, so it was doing some weird stuff. But anyway, so if I click on resize and I want to, let's say I want a custom one. I want the custom one at 4300 by 320. And then let's say I want a social media one. I click on this, and now I have options. So if I know that I want to do a social media square, a story, an Instagram reel, I'm not gonna do a carousel. But now let's say I want Facebook, and I want Facebook to be a post, a story, and I'm going to change my profile cover for that one. And then Google, I can do the same for like if I want to bring this on YouTube or whatever, TikTok. Let's say I want TikTok. But honestly, there's no point in changing them because the sizes are the same. So when you're doing like TikTok, I'm like, that's overdoing it, but you do have those options and they're there for you. YouTube video, you want to do something for your shorts, your thumbnail, and YouTube does have multiple sizes, like for the profile picture and stuff like that. You can choose that. So I'm gonna choose this for YouTube, video, and thumbnail. Now, when I'm happy and ready, I can click on duplicate and resize, and it'll go through and it'll resize all these. It's going to bring us to a page where we can see all the different sizes and how it resized it. And it really did a pretty good job. Doesn't always. Sometimes it cuts your head off. I'm just kidding. But it tries not to, but it does a good job. And then I'll go through and add, oh, this is Instagram story. This is da-da, this is da-da-da, to all the titles so that when I export it out, I always know what I'm looking at and what I exported out.
On the subject of logos, the rednecks on the bottom illustrates a potential issue with wraparound text. In this case, I think it's because the N and X are the same right side up or upside down, so you want to read that.
Yeah.
Like it is upside down, but it is something to watch out for in logos and stuff.
Yeah.
And this was just for fun too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that was the thing. We knew the limitations in here, and there are many, especially we use in Circle. When I tell you we finagled to get this to work, to those of you who have worked in circles with Express, you know that it's not easy to manipulate at all. I did see it upside down, but I chose to keep it because if I would have done this video, which is going out to the world on the internet, and I did not include my son, we would have some problems. So I won't start none, won't be none. I could have done like the upper arch and just had nothing at the bottom, or just did like circles or balls or things like that. And I thought about all of that, but you know what? He is my kid who considers himself out of the ordinary and extraordinary. So there you go. That's where he is. He is Xander, and he is at the bottom, and he is upside down. So, you know.
I said potential.
Right.
Yeah.
Potential.
First of all, it could just as easily make people want to look more closely at it and read it more carefully. But it's just something to think about it. You bounce it off a few people and see what they say.
Oh, no. Because
and find out if it really is, because you're too close to it anyway.
No, my students wouldn't pass if they turned that in. That just would not be a pass. So I would pass for me and something that I'm giving to a client. That's just not something that's going to happen. In this case, for something like this, that's where I would use Illustrator or Photoshop, because I would need to get it exactly how I want it, or until Express gives the flip option or whatever options they need to give to make that usable for me. But yeah, no, this is fun. All students, that's not a good option.
I wanted to take a second to make sure that we address a couple of things. So one of the questions that was asked earlier was, does Express have built-in rulers and guides? It does not at this point in time. However, what you will see in terms of a difference is Express actually does a better job still, even though Canva's version of the resize is newer. Express does a cleaner job of making sure that the right elements are centered and in focus in terms of the individual positions for each of those resized elements. So it's something it's a good thing to point out.
I do want to say, yeah, it doesn't have individual guides, but you can, now this is newer, we do have margins, and you can show the margins and any bleed or whatever you have for your project. So you can see them, but if you're talking about like how an Illustrator and Photoshop and all the other programs, we can grab the guides and bring them in and have them do exactly what we want. We're not there yet, but I think they're coming. I'm pretty sure that's been an ask, you know.
And if people are concerned about like what tool serves what purpose better, my personal opinion is I feel like both Express and Canva do a great job of the digital display aspects. I think Canva surprisingly does a slightly cleaner job with handling text. However, you can't beat Adobe Express when it comes to being compatible and integrated with the rest of Adobe's tool set, with Photoshop and Illustrator and even Acrobat now, that you actually have some parts where Express works hand in hand so well with it that you almost wind up using Express over the other, big brother type tools. So I think it's interesting to note that. And Dennis asks, can you embed video and then output for different apps? Yes, you can in both tools, and they both do a pretty interesting job. And both tools also now have the built-in captioning. So if you're captioning for social media posts and things like that.
That's real. That is really cool. I have to use it for my school because we have to be 508 compliant, of course. And they have a tool that, that school uses, but I use Express for the captioning. It's amazing. And it does a great job. I'm like, wow, like before this, Zoom had a really, really good, because Zoom uses Otter, OTTR, which is an amazing program that captions and voice dictates and stuff like that. And I feel like Express is using the same platform. I'm not sure, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It'll catch me all the time because my S's, I have a slight lisp, and things like that. So there are certain words that I'll be like, no, that's not what I said. No, that's not what I said. But it does pretty good. That's my issue, not it. So
right. Sarah asks, how about the website creation with both of these applications? I've been day one Express web page generator. They don't call it website, they call it web page generator. Canva just got that tool integrated in. I have yet to play with it, but it virtually has just about the exact same type of setup. Both are super powerful. I still build Express mini web pages because they're mobile compliant and they're already ready to go. However, they are not necessarily accessible, so you do need to check about how you put things together inside of them. But both are fun to play with, and if you need like some quick ideas on the go, you need something down and dirty, and you just want to, or you want to use it for like an application mock-up or a prototype or a quick catalog, it is a fun way to pull it together in either one of their applications for the website builders. Andrea, anything else?
No, I agree with that. Yeah, I've been day one web page, and they've actually finally, I will say finally, just upgraded a few of the things in Express. It took a while.
I just wanted to stop sharing. Go ahead.
It took a while for them to get there, but and there's certain things that are up on the roadmap to come. So I'm pretty excited about the future of that. So
Victoria asks, AI generation, does anyone have any preference between Adobe, Firefly, and Canva, Leonardo, I think, and lots of other tools that are out there? So I know a lot of us are playing and experimenting right now. Andrea and Andrew can both chime in on the Firefly perspective. So if you want to do that.
Yeah, I think Andrew, I think his favorite is something else, I think. But for me, I love Firefly because I know that when whatever I create, medicine time, I know that whatever I create inside of Firefly, I'm good to go. You know what I mean? Like yeah, I know. Um, but but I my favorite right now, as far as for creating images, I would say is Firefly, and that is just because now that doesn't mean that I think the other, like all of them are amazing, and what they create is phenomenal. It really is. And you can do more in the other ones than you can do inside of Firefly because Firefly is, because they put all the parameters in to make sure it's safe and to make sure that you can use everything. So right now I'm sticking with Firefly as far as AI. But I will say in comparison for me between Firefly and Express and Firefly on the website, I choose Firefly on the website any day. I do. I like it on the website because it's almost like saying which one do you choose doing video in, if you're a videographer, doing video in Premiere or doing video in Express. You might be like, well, Express is great. I can do quick videos and shoot them out, and that's awesome. Quick on the go. Love that. But for the videos that I need, for clients and for those heavy jobs and stuff like that, I'm going to use Premiere. So it's kind of like that.
Right, right. I'm a huge fan of all things to test and play with, but none to actually produce my final content. I'm having a lot of fun in Microsoft Designer right now, believe it or not, for AI generation. It actually has produced exactly what I wanted for what I needed in those short moments, and did a really good job of the output and understanding what it was that I was looking for and the quality of what it put together. I didn't have to worry about 6 and 7 and 8 fingers on one hand and those kinds of things. But I think finally the tools are all starting to come up to speed with that now. So yeah. All right. I think we got through all of our questions. If anybody has any last questions, throw them in the ring now, because otherwise Daniel's going to start our raffle.
Can I say one more thing for you who are into AI? Use AI to create AI. I'm telling you, use AI for ideas. If you're like, oh, no, use the AI to
create AI
and then say it. Like I'll be like, hey, in Adobe Express or in Adobe Firefly, I want to create blah, 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 blah. And it'll spit it out for you. So talk to it like you talk to people. I'm telling you, and you'll be an AI queen. That's just,
I love it.
Never touch
it.
Yeah.
Thank you. For those who are willing to try it.
A tip on AI. Apparently, when you use words like please and stuff like that, fill words, it just uses up computer power for no purpose.
It does. That is true. Be strategic in your prompt generation. Absolutely. And do it sparingly. Think about what it is. Think about the context. Think about the information that you're going to plug in. And then try not to do too many generations, because it does take up a lot of computing power. It does take up a lot of actual natural resources in order for those things to produce.
I learned things like hello, because I like to be polite every time, you know what I'm saying? And I want to make sure I'm saying hello to it in case it decides the rest of my life one day. But even saying that, it takes up a lot of.
I was going to say it's inappropriate to be courteous or polite to machines, especially since they generally aren't to you. But you gave me a good, that's a good counterpoint. That
you never know.
They start holding grudges. If they start holding grudges, we got a problem.
Right.
I mentioned the extraneous word thing because I was watching in another demo when somebody was showing what you were talking about with using ChatGPT to instruct, I think it was Firefly, I'm not sure. And he was saying please and stuff like that in there. And apparently there's Well, I think it's a problem with people treating machines like people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is.
I agree though, because that's how they take over the world, truthfully. Like we don't want them to know, you know what I mean? It's like I've seen iRobot several times. I'm just saying.
Next thing you know, you're gonna start hearing, I can't do that, Dave.
Yeah.
I'm
Like,
sorry, Dave. Or if you watch the Dark Star, it's got a robot. It's got a AI bomb having a midlife crisis,
Yeah.
an existential crisis
All right.
about blowing up or not blowing up, and make up your mind because of a short circuit somewhere.
All right. I'm gonna let Daniel go ahead and run our raffle real quick. So thanks, Doug. Thank you. And before we get on to this, Andrea, thank you again for taking the time to do this with us this evening. This was fantastic and a lot of fun. Thank you.
Whoever's the winner, send me your Adobe ID email for receiving it.
Okay. And this is for Creative Cloud. Yes, yes, yes. Bradley says, or we might have a Johnny 5 someday. Exactly. All right. Victoria! Yay! Woo-hoo! Congratulations, Victoria. Feel free to unmute if you're here.
I'm having a bad hair day. That's why I'm.
That's all right.
that's beautiful.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Thank you so much. I'm like glowing.
Great. Well, as long as the glow is natural and not AI generated.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so Victoria, do go ahead and make sure that you get Daniel, sorry, your Adobe email address.
Gotcha. I'm gonna send it right now. Let's look it up.
All right. And I forgot, I just want to say thank you again to my sweet mom who kicked us off and got our meeting going. We appreciate you, and I appreciate your creativity. So I'm throwing a heart up. All right. Thank you again to everybody that's joining us. Oh, I love it, Bradley. Thank you. Yeah, he's throwing up all the hearts. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right, so we are going to go into a summer hiatus, and we'll be back towards the end of August, or near the middle to end of August. We'll be putting our announcement up, and we'll tell you who our next presenters are. And as we get into fall, we're also going to be ramping up with more AI, more Creative Cloud, more Adobe, more creative stuff, and ramping up and getting ready for Adobe Max, which is coming back to LA in October. So stay tuned, and we appreciate everybody joining us tonight.
Did I miss the spin?
Yes, Victoria won.
Was I on the wheel? I noticed somebody saying they weren't.
Thank you, everybody. Sorry, I just had to make sure.
Was I on the, someone said they weren't on the wheel, was I?
People said